Hi, everyone. Once again, thank you so much for joining. We're excited to kick off episode 2 of our highly anticipated Orange HRM product demo series. It's great to see such a fantastic turnout. In today's session, we'll be diving into the latest features released in 2024 and offering you an exclusive sneak peek into what's coming next. We're really thrilled to share these updates with you, and well, we hope you're as excited as we are. Joining with us today is our Director of Sales, Matt Vendramini. And before I pass this on to him, please note that if you have any questions during the webinar, you can feel free to drop them into the chat box, and this will be picked up by one of our moderators who will then answer any questions you may have at the end of the webinar. We will also be having a Q&A session, so feel free to even type it in then. Please note that to time constraints, if we are not able to answer any of your questions, we will directly send you the answers to them. Thank you. Over to you, Matt.
Thank you, Julie. Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Vendramini. I'm with Orange HRM. And first off, I wanted to thank everybody for attending today. I know you're very busy, and so thanks for taking some time out of your very busy schedules to spend a few minutes with us here today. Very fortunate that we are to present to you here. So just to quickly run through the agenda of things we'll cover. First off, we're going to start with new features in Orange HRM. So these are going to be features that are available now that you may be aware of or you may not be aware of, but we're happy to discuss those and share a few details on them. So if you weren't aware of them, hopefully you can make use of them. But if you were aware of them, hopefully you are using them and that they are adding value to the way you use Orange HRM. Then we'll move on to upcoming features. So we've got a few really exciting features to share with you today that are on the cusp of being released in Orange HRM and will be available shortly. And then after that, we'll follow up, as Julie said, with some Q&A. And if we can't answer all your questions during today's meeting, we'll certainly follow up with you directly, set up conversations, and we can spend some time personally with you to make sure that all of your questions are answered. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to jump into things. We'll start off with new features in 2024, or specifically quite recently, as recently as last month, some of the features we're going to show you here today that we'll talk about. So first off, we're going to start with HR administration. So these are kind of core features available within the software, not necessarily tied to any given module, but things that help you manage your data and processes more securely, more safely, and more efficiently. We'll start off with two-factor authentication. So many of you are aware, a lot of products require two-factor authentication, or 2FA, sometimes referred to as MFA, as multi-factor authentication as well. But this is a feature that prevents or sort of adds a layer of security to your Orange HRM instance to make sure that all of your data is safe and that you can ensure that you can use policies that are increasingly relevant in IT departments today to ensure the safety of your data. So two-factor authentication is now available in Orange HRM. It provides enhanced security. It can be enabled if and when needed. There may be certain circumstances when it's not, or for certain organizations for whom they perhaps may not want to use it, but there's configuration ability there. And it can be enabled for specific user roles as well. So perhaps for HR administrators, you would put it in place, and not necessarily in all instances for others. So a lot of flexibility there in this feature, and we're excited to have rolled it out and make it available to our customers. So show a quick video on this, and then we'll move on to the next items on our list.
HR administration. Orange HRM has introduced the support for multi-factor authentication with the system when logging in. System admins can configure whether it is enabled or not in the system, and for which user roles it is mandatory. To enable two-factor authentication in Orange HRM, the system admin needs to enable two-factor authentication for your user role. To do that, as a system admin, navigate to HR administration, configuration, authentication. From here, system admins can enable the two-factor authentication for your desired user roles. And when you log in next, you will be given instructions on how to set up two-factor authentication for your account. You can set it up at that time, or you can choose the option to set it up later. You can use any authenticator app, such as Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, or any other secure app to enable 2FA. Once the app is synced, your two-factor authentication is now enabled.
All right. So we'll move on to the next feature here. Bear with me. Oops. Okay, so moving on to employee management. Pardon me. There we go. Okay, so moving on to employee management, we'll talk about this next. So some new features available around flex schedules. So some of you may recall early in 2024 we released kind of schedule management within Orange HRM. Gave the ability to add schedules that would be applied when a new employee joins, sort of indicating what the expected hours would be that they would work. This also kind of ties into things like leave management, right? When would they typically be working? And how is that going to be affected by, or how are other policies going to be triggered, perhaps based on the hours that they're expected to work? So now we've created one place to manage all work schedules. We've got three specific types of work schedule. Won't get into too much to the nitty gritty here today, just kind of introducing this concept to those who are unaware of it. There's fixed work schedules that can be set up. Typically, we find that this is applied for full-time employees. We've got daily flex work schedules, typically applied, not always, but typically applied to part-timers. And these typically uh, require a specific number of hours per day, but with some flexibility there. And then we've got weekly flex work schedules, oftentimes applied to part timers, but not always, which really denote a specific number of hours per week that an employee might have to work. So lots to do, or lots available in the configuration of work schedules and how they can be applied to different employee groups within the organization. So a lot of cool things happening there. And this is really something we've advanced significantly in the last year and a half of work from our dev team. So it's really exciting. Also, for those organizations that have employees in multiple countries, we can create country default work schedules that will apply whenever a new employee is added to a given country. And there's visibility and configuration options for this available on the mobile app, which is great as well as we continue to advance the capabilities within our mobile app. So moving on, just show a quick video on this, and then we'll sync back up in just a moment.
Employee management. We have made further enhancements to the work schedule feature by introducing the flex work scheduling option. This feature allows supervisors to add and define flexible work schedules for the subordinates who work in flexible shifts. Flex work schedules can be added daily or weekly within the required time window. Flex work schedule allows organizations to manage part-time employees who do not have a fixed schedule by adding required daily or weekly durations. To do this, navigate to Employee Management, Configurations, Work Schedules. Click on Add Schedules and specify your flex schedule option. Add your requirements and save. With Orange HRM Flex Schedules, managing your employees' time just got easier.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so moving on to the next topic, also under employee management. Now, this is personally one of the features that I had been looking forward to for the longest time, and I'm really excited that it's in the platform now. And that's generating and emailing documents or document templates to employees from within Orange HRM. So many of you are available of our document template feature. We can use these for things like employment confirmation letters, transfer letters, a number of other different use cases are available that our customers typically use. And now we can directly email these documents to employees. We can maintain a document history of these documents and when they were sent for compliance reasons. And coming very soon, we're going to be configuring e-signatures for these internal documents, right? So if you have a policy change, and you need to send that to an employee and have them sign off on it to get their agreement on the policy change or their acceptance of it, you can use a template document. You can send that template document with the relevant information to the employee. They can e-sign off on it and return it to you, and it can be stored on their file. So there's a ton of use cases for this. Disciplinary letters could be one. Promotions, all kinds of things can fall into this category where you would use this feature. So really excited that this is going to be available really soon. and it's something a lot of our clients were asking for. So we're excited to be delivering it in the short term here as well. So quick video on that, and then we'll be back in just a moment.
Employee management. Orange HRM document templates feature allows HR personnel to easily create different employee letters, including job confirmation, internships, visa-related, and probation completion letters. We've now added a convenient preview and email option that lets you send these letters directly to employees through the system via email. Users also have the ability to view the letter before sending it to the employee. This feature will save you time and effort.
All right. Okay, so moving on to recruitment. We've been doing some really cool things in recruitment on a number of different areas, on usability, on some of the visibility tools, candidate history. So some really, really great things have come in this area in the last couple of weeks, and we'll talk about a few of them here today. So first off, we've got this concept of best match rules, right? So many of our clients, when they do recruitment, you may get a ton of applicants, right? So sometimes you're hiring for a position, you may only be looking for one or two candidates, highly qualified or very specifically skilled candidates, and then you have too many applications and really can't get through them in an effective way. So now we've got this concept of best match rules where you can set up a scenario where you're only going to get specific candidates into your main feed. So you can really dig through and find the needle in the haystack a little bit quicker. So some great tools that are going to be available to help you really identify candidates quicker and make your recruitment process more efficient. So we can perform automated actions like create a short list of maybe the best candidates or the best match candidates, and then maybe archive candidates that are really not a good fit based on criteria that we can set up ahead of time. All right. And beyond that, we've got configurable reports. So a few things there. We give you the ability to create your own recruitment reports using a number of different data points within the software, which is going to be great. And then we've got two great default reports that are going to be available: a vacancy specific candidate report and a general recruitment overview report. So a lot of great things here. This is an area where we really needed to make some improvements in the visibility into the reporting and analytics capabilities within recruitment. And we've really hit the ground running on that in the last little while. And happy to announce that these are great features that some of our clients are already using, and we've got some good feedback on. So we'd love for those of you who use recruitment to go ahead and look into these features. And we're excited to hear feedback from additional customers and as they dig into these features a little bit more. So quick little video on this, and here we go.
Recruitment. Hiring managers do not have to go through individual application forms to find the best match for a vacancy. With the availability of the Best Match Rules feature, we can provide the rules to shortlist, reject, archive, or delete application forms. On setting up the rules, the system will automatically filter the candidates based on the added criteria.
Looking for a powerful tool to streamline your recruitment process and gain valuable insights into your hiring data? Orange HRM's Recruitment Reports and Analytics module is here to help. With two customizable report types, you can easily generate tailored reports that meet your specific needs. Need a deep dive into the performance of candidates for a particular job opening? Our vacancy-specific candidate report is the perfect solution. Simply select your desired vacancy, and you'll be able to analyze candidate information, including their answers to specific questions, time taken to complete the application, and more. This data can help you identify top talent and refine your hiring process. Want a broader view of your organization's recruitment activities? Our General Recruitment Overview Report provides a comprehensive snapshot of your hiring metrics. Track key performance indicators like time to hire, candidate source, and overall recruitment success. With this information, you can make data-driven decisions to improve your hiring efficiency and attract top talent.
All right. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so one of my personal favorites next Request Desk. Some of you may know this module. We've actually had it for a few years now. It's been available in Orange HRM for purchase. This module is really our Swiss Army knife, right? It allows you to create different workflows for different purposes. You know, many of you have IT teams that are using an IT help desk tool, right? I'm an employee. I need help from IT. Maybe it's help with my laptop or my mobile phone, or I can't remember a password. Any number of types of requests that get submitted through an IT help desk app that some of you probably use. And Request Desk is a similar tool, but typically for HR requests, right? So an employee needs to submit a request to HR. Maybe they need a letter of employment or some type of confirmation. They're going to the bank to get a mortgage, so they need some documentation from their employer. Request Desk creates a process to streamline that and many, many other types of requests that employees may have to create a real workflow that makes sure requests are answered in a timely manner, and that you can track the types of requests, the frequency of different requests that are coming in from employees or specific employee groups or locations, etc. So a lot of great things you can do with Request Desk for those of you who are unaware of it. So please come to us for more information. Now, in terms of what's new on Request Desk, there's some usability improvements. We've created some standard request types and workflows that are associated with those. And we've gathered this from information from customers that have been using these features and from their requests and their feedback on the product of common things that they've seen as great use cases for the product. So we've taken that feedback and built in some of those use cases within the Request Desk module. So standard request types like compensation request types, compensation changes, role or location changes are now available as standard request types within the Request Desk module, and enhanced configuration options for custom request types. So things that you may come up with in using the product that you need to do, the ability to do deeper configuration within the module is now available, and it's something that we're constantly improving. We've also introduced the idea of supervisors being able to send requests on behalf of employees. So there are a number of great use cases there in which that capability has been helpful to enhance the capabilities of the module. With that also, there's email capabilities. So there's email alerts and other areas in which email is helping manage the Request Desk process. And we've sort of deepened our integration within email to create better workflow options in some cases. So quickly, we'll show you a quick video on that, and we'll move on from there.
Request Desk. Do you wish to request a promotion, salary increments, or request a change in personal details from HR or management? With this new feature, you can do it easily through the Request Desk by making a request. HR or management can then take action on the request promptly to align with the policies of the company. The system now allows the regional admins to assign approvers to request types from different other locations.
Effective communication and collaboration are essential for a smooth-running HR department. Orange HRM 7.14 empowers administrators, request owners, and approvers to streamline the request process with enhanced email capabilities, compose and send emails directly from within the system, and easily track the history of email communications for each request. Furthermore, we've expanded the flexibility of the Request Desk module by allowing users to submit general requests on behalf of employees. This feature saves time and improves efficiency while providing a centralized platform for managing employee requests. To facilitate data analysis and reporting, Orange HRM 7.14 also introduces the ability to export the employee general requests list as a CSV file. This empowers HR teams to gain valuable insights into request trends and identify areas for improvement. No more mandatory descriptions. You can now save or submit requests without filling out the description field. Requests submitted on behalf of other employees will now appear in the employee general request list, providing better organization. To enhance request confidentiality, saved requests are kept as drafts, and it's now hidden from the admins, approvers, and request owners until submitted by the user.
All right. So like I said, probably my favorite module, right? There's so much you can do with Request Desk. And like I said, if you're not aware of Request Desk and you like more information about it, please reach out to us. We're happy to demo this and talk more about the capabilities and how it might be useful for you. Okay, moving on. Next is onboarding and offboarding. So we've done some great work in this area, right? So there's a lot of advanced capabilities we've introduced to the on and offboarding module over the last, let's say, 18 months thereabouts. And so we've continued to make some improvements in this area. Really about the configuration side of things. Don't want to get too technical, but uploading task types, kind of managing that more effectively. A lot of that feedback came back from some of the IT users or folks that are responsible for configuring processes on behalf of HR teams. We've taken some great feedback in those areas to make that process of configuring, setting up, and using the module more effective. Other usability improvements. Reminders, email reminders on tasks that are past their due date. This is something that's available now within the product. And adding documents to tasks. So this is something good as well, being able to upload documents to manage that process more effectively for specific tasks that would require them. So with that, show you a quick video on this, and then we'll reconvene after.
On offboarding, admins now have the ability to bulk upload the task types in the Configure Task screen. This feature will ensure that admins can add multiple task types at once to eliminate time consumption. If you wish to configure the system to send out certain reminders on offboarding tasks after the due date, it is now made possible with this feature. Simply add the Notify After Date here to get the reminders on the added date after the due date. If admins wish to add documents related to the tasks, now he or she can do it by uploading documents to the tasks as an attachment. Admins can add documents such as employee handbooks, benefit enrollment forms, and company policies and procedures. Task owners and employees can view and access the uploaded documents.
Need to include instructions, references, or resource links in on offboarding task descriptions. Our improved description field now allows users to add this information directly within the task itself. This eliminates the need for separate documents or emails, keeping everything centralized and easily accessible for new hires and departing employees. Want to personalize onboarding or offboarding emails with specific employee details? We've introduced a new set of employee management and task tokens that can be used when adding or configuring email templates. These tokens allow you to automatically insert information like employee name, department, or specific tasks assigned during onboarding/offboarding.
All right. Okay. So moving on. Some of you may or may not be aware of our capabilities in Power BI. So Power BI is a Microsoft product, right? So it's a business intelligence tool. And we now have a connector to Power BI to be able to pull out information and create more comprehensive reporting capabilities within the application. So we've got a couple screenshots here. Don't have a video for this one. So we've got a turnover analysis report uh, uh, um, screenshot here of some of the capabilities we can provide within this by using the Power BI connector. To kind of take a step back as well, a lot of organizations that are using Power BI are using it to pull data points from multiple systems, right? So you may be using it with your HR tool, you may be using it with your payroll tool, you could be using it with your CRM or marketing software or other data points that you may have, accounting tools, etc. And what it allows you to do is pull multiple data points together to create more comprehensive reporting and actionable insights using the data within your organization to make better business decisions. So there's a few different ways to look at Power BI for Orange HRM. One, it can work as a standalone with Orange HRM data to sort of combine different data points and create more comprehensive HR reports. Or, as mentioned previously, you could use Orange HRM as just one piece of a larger puzzle from your data set, right? So you can combine Orange HRM data with data from other business systems that you might be using to create dashboards, reports, and so forth. So if you are using Power BI in your environment and you're unaware that we do have a Power BI connector, absolutely reach out to us. We'd love to showcase some of the capabilities, some of the dashboards and reporting that are going to be available if we do apply the Power BI connector to your Orange HRM instance. For those of you who may not be aware of it, maybe ask internally, right? See if Power BI is something that your organization is using in other areas that you may not be aware of, and suggest to them that Power BI is available for Orange HRM. So maybe Orange HRM could be a piece of the puzzle to create a better data set for your organization, because there's a lot you can do with it, a lot of great insights that you can glean by combining your HR data with other data, or even just pulling HR data together in different ways to create better and deeper reporting, from the information that you have today. So a lot we can do there. Like I said, don't have a video for this. That's okay. Like I said, we'd love to showcase these capabilities to you if you're interested. So please reach out to us with questions about this, or to set up a time to discuss in more detail. So Power BI for Orange HRM, really great feature that a lot of our customers have already started to take advantage of. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at the mobile app now. So one of the great things, talked about Request Desk already, my favorite module. Uh, Request Desk is now available on the mobile app. So an employee can pick up their phone, use the app, and submit a request to the HR team through Request Desk through the mobile app. Fantastic capability, and is really going to streamline operations within your company, especially if you're, let's say, retail, hospitality, healthcare. Imagine you have a lot of employees that don't spend a lot of time in front of a computer, or maybe none at all. It's not a part of their typical job. Enhancing our mobile app capabilities really helps, helps empower those employees to still get great value out of the Orange HRM tool for things beyond, just leave or time, timesheet submission, or leave requests, etc. So really excited to announce that Request Desk is available through the mobile app now, and we continue to do more work in the mobile app area, enhancing the capabilities that are going to be available there. Okay, so I'll just run through a few other improvements, things that are on the list that are definitely worth mentioning that you may not know, or you may not know of yet, certainly. So we'll cover a few of those here. In HR administration, so audit trail improvements, some behavior for custom admins, and new capabilities for admins or heads of departments. Within employee management, a few small changes here to mention as well. A few small changes that probably have a big impact for you. So configurable marital statuses. Sounds like a small thing, but for a lot of organizations, they're kind of changing the way they report on these things. So it's something that could perhaps be helpful for you. This is actually a big one. I think we should have highlighted this one a little bit more. Email notifications based on custom date fields. Well, what does that mean? There's a lot of date fields in Orange HRM, things you can track, certificate expiry, license expiry, training, important dates, when does training lapse, etc. But now you can create your own custom fields, dates as custom fields within Orange HRM to track anything you need. And from that, email notifications and reports can be built off of those things. So really some great enhanced capabilities there that a lot of our clients are already leveraging. And I hope if you didn't know they were there, now you do, and you can go ahead and use them. If you need assistance, absolutely contact us. Reports and analytics. So within our employee management module, as you probably know, we've got a great reporting tool. There's a lot more tools available on options on date filters for month, week, or next number of days, etc. So some cool things available there in the reporting. Definitely have a look, check it out, and again, contact us for questions. In the leave module, okay, so just some changes and enhancements to visibility for leave types for ESS or end user employees within the calendar. So things that are going to be available there for you to leverage. Performance, right? So a lot of capabilities coming in performance next year in the pipe, but a few kind of changes that have been made available recently. Manual appraisal final rating, so making manual adjustments as needed to final ratings for appraisals is available now within the performance module. And then recruitment, some big changes coming here down the line, but in the immediate future, we've got track candidate source. So where did this candidate come from? Was it LinkedIn? Was it Indeed? Was it another third-party site? So being able to track the candidate source, and also do things in bulk, save time. Can we shortlist, reject, or otherwise move candidates to different stages a little bit quicker and easier, and make the process a little bit more tidy on the managing of recruitment and different candidates. Okay, that was a mouthful. Let's move on to upcoming features. So some really exciting things coming down the pipe. And our next webinar series is going to really showcase some good ones. For now, the big one we've got is pre-boarding. Now, this is a feature we've been working on for a long time and is going to add value for a ton of different types of organizations. Now, we're calling this pre-boarding now, but there's still some discussions about, how it's going to end up when all is said and done in terms of what we're going to name it, what we're going to call it. But imagine that period of time between you've identified a candidate that you're going to hire. Maybe there's a 2 week or longer or shorter period between the time that you've selected them and their actual start date. And pre-boarding is going to really fill in the blanks and really make that onboarding process really smooth and bring them on board effectively. So imagine, especially specific verticals or industries, if you're in healthcare, if you're in hospitality, if you're in retail sales, and that sort of thing. If you got employees that fit any of those bills, there's going to be a lot of capabilities going to help onboard the onboarding process for your employees. To just give you kind of a quick overview, you can send an email out to that new employee. That employee is going to be able to log into a candidate portal. They're going to be able to fill in a bunch of details, could be uploading documents to you, could be filling in forms, adding information that you need for things like background checks, perhaps, maybe reference details, right? So before you want to finalize the hiring process, you want to check on references. They can upload reference details to you through this process. A lot of great use cases for this and a lot of configuration options to really tailor, configure, and customize the process to you most effectively. So great things that we're going to be able to do with the pre-boarding module for you. And if you want a demo of this, please reach out to us. We are starting to demo this product. It's really really hot off the presses at this stage. It's not completely released, but it will be shortly. So if you want more information, please reach out. We're very, very excited to share this with you.
Ever wished you could streamline the onboarding process and make new hires feel welcome before they even start? Our upcoming pre-boarding feature is here to revolutionize how you welcome new team members. Our brand new pre-boarding feature allows you to effortlessly pre-board your new hires, so they can be ready to start work from day one. So what does this mean for your company? With pre-boarding, you can track the progress of each new hire's journey, send personalized emails to make them feel valued, and you can also customize the pre-boarding experience to fit your company culture. Get ready to elevate your onboarding game with Orange HRM.
All right. Okay, moving on. So, kind of lumping everything into another category called other for the time being, but some great things coming up down the pipe outside of the pre-boarding and enhanced onboarding capabilities. And HR administration. So tokens for email templates, right? So being able to communicate more effectively via emails to either new employees or for internal purposes. Some great capabilities there with added tokens for email templates. Employee management, usability improvements in the compensation area within the employee profile, performance, so usability improvements in performance. Like I said, some big things are going to be coming down the pipe for performance next year and beyond, but we've got some great usability improvements that are available today. And iCal in the leave module, this is great. So being able to push leave information to a company shared calendar from the leave module through the iCal feature. So I've created some improvements in that area to make that a little bit of an easier transition and to share data more effectively. Recruitment, so quick and easy access to candidate profiles. So if you're using recruitment, have a look at that. I'm sure you'll find some great improvements in that area and some things that are going to be available later this year. Recruitment workflow state change notifications, right? So some better notifications and ability to kind of manage processes and communication about candidates more effectively. And in timesheets, really just about the time configuration, the time period, the pay period configuration options are going to be improved. Semi-monthly will be available, as well as making activities active or inactive. Just kind of clean up that process a little bit on the managing a timesheet side of things. And then attendance, so creating pay policies for specific days will be available within the attendance module on the pay policy configurator. So look for those shortly. You should be seeing announcements from us if you're subscribed to our regular email updates when those things are available. You'll learn a little bit more about that. And like I mentioned, with any of these things, if you have any specific questions about them, feel free to ask during the Q&A session, or feel free to reach out to us directly. We can address some of these questions. Okay, so that wraps up our upcoming features portion of the presentation, and we're going to move on to the Q&A session. So I'll turn it back over to Julie to take it from there.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you so much for leading this session. I'm pretty sure all our clients found it very helpful and insightful as well. So just in terms of being conscious about time, we want to push through to the Q&A session. The chat box is open if you have any questions, and we'll pick it up from there.
Okay.
Okay, so we have one question, Matt. When a work schedule is created default to a country, does that mean all employees in that location fall under that work schedule? If so, can it change by the employee?
Yes. So by default, there's going to be a default schedule that employees will fall into. So that's certainly a scenario that would be set up, but that's absolutely changeable, right? So we can set that up on a kind of on a country basis. It may differ by employee type within that country. Could differ by location of that specific employee, but absolutely, there's going to be the option to configure that according to the needs specifically. Yes.
Okay. And we have another one that came in. So, can employees see the history of documents generated for them?
Okay, all right. So I presume what we're referring to here is document generation within the employee profile, right? So HR manager goes into an employee's profile and sends a document out to an employee, right? So they can review it. And then upon the processing of that document, whether it's to happen shortly when we have e-signatures applied to it, or even just to manage it, there will be a document history area there that's available to the employee where they will be able to view that document, and it's going to be there for record keeping, but also so that, from a transparency perspective, employees will be able to see the documents that have been sent to them, and have one specific home for those documents. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. The other was, when tracking candidate source, do we add the data manually or will it be tracked by the system?
When tracking candidate source, will we add the data manually? Okay, I think where we're going with this one is understanding about tracking candidate source. I'll probably talk about that in a bit more depth, and hopefully that answers the question. So what this means is we're going to be able to set up a scenario where we can track the source of the candidate, right? So did a candidate come from LinkedIn? Did they come from Indeed? Did they come from your website, etc., right? So being able to understand where those things come from. We're going to set up the tracking, okay, for all those different data sources. So as they come in, you'll be able to see this candidate came from here, this candidate came from here, etc. Ultimately, you'll be able to report on that, right? And say, okay, this many candidates came from source A, this many candidates came from source B, etc., and so forth, right? So you'll have that ability. You won't have to manually tag that every time a candidate comes in, and maybe that's what the question was. But if the person posed the question, if that clarifies, I hope it did. But if not, please reach back out to us. We're happy to clarify further if that didn't answer your question. And again, if you'd like to take it offline and discuss with us in more detail, please absolutely do so.
Okay, so we got one more in. So it says, other than new modules that are implemented, exampling the upcoming pre-boarding module, are there updates to existing modules made available automatically?
Yeah, great question. Absolutely. So if you already own the recruitment module, if it's a feature you're using, you do not have to pay for the additional features that are available today. The additional features, when they rolled out, they're included in your subscription automatically. So no, those features will be available to you once they are rolled out and the system is updated accordingly, or your instance will be updated. Pre-boarding, yes, that's different. That's a new module, so that's going to come with additional capabilities. So that would have to be licensed separately. So yes, just to clarify.
Okay. Um, does anyone have any other questions that they want to ask before we conclude for today? Okay. If there's one more question, if I'm getting over 100 resumes for a vacancy, how can I use best match rule to reduce the numbers? For example, do they have work visa?
Yeah, great question. So the best match rules are going to be based on the information that the candidate submits in the application form, right? So, for example, if in that example, uh, do you have a valid working visa, is a question on the application form, a best match rule can be set up such that everybody who answers yes to that question will be filtered in a certain category, right? And anybody who answers no can be filtered out. So you can automatically separate those two groups, right? And that would only be one criteria. If you have other criteria on top of that for best match, like do you have a valid working visa? Are you over 18 years of age, or et cetera? Do you have a certain skill set, et cetera? You can create those parameters for what would be considered best match for that given role. So you could use all of the above, to determine best match, and then create a best match list, as it were. So if you get 100 candidates, maybe only 20 fall into the best match, and you'd be able to go straight to those specific 20 candidates as a starting point. I hope that clarifies.
Thanks, Matt.
So just before we sign off too, I want to make sure everyone's aware. You can reach me at matt@orangehrm.com. That's MATT at orangehrm.com. So if you have other questions, or if you didn't want to ask them today, please feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to address anything, or speak with anyone individually as well.
Thank you, Matt. And thank you, everyone who joined today. We really appreciate you taking the time to participate in our webinar. Please note that you'll also receive access to the recording of this session. So keep an eye out for your inbox. But thank you once again and have a wonderful day. Thanks, Matt, as well.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next time.